The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever's free agency shakeup has completely rewritten what power looks like in the WNBA. For years, this league has been run by front offices, executives, and old-school systems that never truly gave players control. But that all changed when Caitlin Clark, barely a year into her professional career, decided to step in, take command, and reshape her team from the inside out. What she did wasn't just bold, it was historic. In a league that's never really known how to handle a superstar of her magnitude, Caitlin Clark just showed everyone what it means to lead. Not with noise, but with undeniable influence. It all began quietly, almost innocently. Reports started swirling that the Indiana Fever were preparing for an off-season full of changes, with rumors that Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham, two players deeply tied to Clark's on-court chemistry, were likely to be cut or traded to free up cap space. Both players had become fan favorites, not necessarily because of their stats, but because of their grit, loyalty, and the chemistry they shared with Clark. The rumors hit hard, especially after Lexie Hull made emotional posts that sounded like goodbyes. The media immediately jumped on it, spinning a soap opera narrative. Clark's friends are gone, the Fever are moving on, drama in Indiana. But as it turns out, that couldn't have been further from the truth. Behind the scenes, Caitlin Clark was already making moves. Multiple insiders confirmed that Clark went directly to the Fever's management and made her position clear. Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham weren't going anywhere. These weren't just teammates to her, they were trusted allies, players who had been in the trenches with her through every hard foul, every hostile away game, every moment of pressure. Clark made it known that keeping them wasn't optional, it was necessary. And here's the wild part. Management listened. Think about that for a second. A rookie, barely in her second season, just dictated personnel decisions to a professional franchise, and they actually obeyed. That's not arrogance. That's leverage. Clark didn't throw tantrums or cryptic posts online. She simply understood her worth. Because when you're the reason your team went from league bottom dwellers to playoff contenders, when you're selling out arenas and doubling national viewership, your opinion isn't a suggestion. It's strategy. This was the same franchise that had stumbled through years of mediocrity before Clark arrived. They used to base every decision on long-term analytics and cautious rebuilds. But Caitlin changed the rules the moment she walked through the door. She brought fire, relevance, and most importantly, results. Under her leadership, the Fever didn't just start winning. They started believing. And now, the organization knows that keeping her happy means keeping that momentum alive. For all the critics who say Clark's overstepping, let's be honest, this isn't new in sports. LeBron James has done it. Tom Brady has done it. Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, even A'ja Wilson, all of them have influenced roster decisions in one way or another. The only difference is that Caitlin's doing it earlier and faster than anyone in WNBA history. She's not even 25, and already her voice holds more power than some coaches. That's not ego, it's evolution. The WNBA has never seen a player move the needle like this before. What really sets this story apart is how strategic Clark was about it. She didn't fight this in the media or through drama. She did it through action. When Lexie Hull posted about uncertainty, Clark simply commented, "So proud of you." 3 words. But in that simple, quiet moment, she sent a message. Not to Lexie, but to management, to fans, and to the league itself. It was her way of saying, "I've got this handled." And she did. The Fever's front office, which had reportedly planned to let Lexie test the market, suddenly reversed course. Insiders said the tone in the management meetings shifted overnight, from "who can we afford" to "how can we keep them?" The same happened with Sophie Cunningham, who had been under fire for her outspoken comments and scrappy play. There were whispers she might be released for PR reasons, but Caitlin wasn't having it. Sophie was one of the first players to defend her during rough games, to stand up when other teams targeted her, to keep the locker room calm when the chaos outside got too loud. Loyalty like that means something, and Caitlin made sure the Fever knew it. And you know what? She's absolutely right. Chemistry like that can't be manufactured. You can't replace trust with contracts or buy connection through free agency. When Clark drives down the lane and kicks the ball out to Lexie for that perfect corner 3, or when Sophie hustles for a rebound that keeps a game alive, that's not just teamwork, that's intuition built over battles. The Fever would be out of their minds to break that apart, especially when it's the very thing that turned them from a rebuilding team into a contender. What Clark did wasn't just about her teammates, it was about culture. She's forcing Indiana to break a long-standing cycle of inconsistency. For years, the Fever have had a bad habit of tearing down what works and starting over. Clark's message was simple. Stop rebuilding, start winning. You don't tear down chemistry to chase analytics. You protect it, you nurture it, and you let it grow into something unstoppable. That's how dynasties are born. And make no mistake, this was a power move heard across the entire WNBA. Clark didn't just change her team. She shifted the balance of power in the league. Players are watching. Executives are watching. Even veteran stars like A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart are seeing how a newcomer just forced a franchise to bend around her vision. The message is clear. This is Caitlin Clark's era, and she's not waiting for permission to lead. Some may call it favoritism, but those people don't understand leadership. Clark's decision wasn't about friendship, it was about the foundation of a championship team. Every great dynasty has that unshakable core. Jordan had Pippen. Kobe had Fisher. Curry has Draymond. Caitlin has Sophie and Lexi. They might not headline ESPN every night, but they are the glue, the balance, the heartbeat of a team that's building something special. As the Fever enter one of the most unpredictable free agency periods in WNBA history, Caitlin's influence could not have come at a more critical time. The league's collective bargaining agreement is expiring soon, and uncertainty looms everywhere. Players are anxious. Management is cautious. But in the middle of that chaos stands one calm, confident voice, the same one that filled arenas and revitalized an entire franchise. Caitlin's message to her teammates is clear: if you're loyal to me, I'll fight for you. And that kind of loyalty? It's priceless. The Indiana Fever are no longer a rebuilding story. They're a revolution. A team built not just by front office numbers, but by heart, loyalty, and one player's unshakable vision. Caitlin Clark didn't just save her teammates, she saved the Fever from themselves. She reminded them that winning isn't about chasing stars. It's about keeping the right ones close, so what do you think? Was Caitlin Clark right to use her power to protect the people she trusts, or did she cross a line that players shouldn't? Should a young star have this much influence so early, or is this exactly the kind of leadership the WNBA needs to thrive? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments.